This is the Cats and Pudding Podcast. A melting pot of pudding. And now, here's Jen.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Cats and Pudding. And today, I have a great guest. I finally got to meet you in person. We've been friends on social media for a while. I've been trying to get him on the show because he's got a great story. And it's Mr. Vinny Minetti.
Yes. And the funny thing is...
Vinny from South Philly. That's what you are. That's how I know you.
Right. That's my moniker.
I love it.
Great. So, look, I've always admired your work, and
Thank
your
you.
podcast is tremendous, so it's an honor to be here.
Oh, well, I'm happy to have you. So I started when I started following you on social media, I started to see like all your accolades, and you also do a podcast too, right? And also you are a director and an actor too. So tell us about like how this all started for you, especially the podcast. I like to hear about.
Sure. So probably like 3 years ago, I started realizing that social media was becoming like a really viable way to kind of connect with people. And I'm a people person, so I like, engaging and supporting and networking. And so it came pretty natural. So I decided to jump in there and just play around with it and did some goofy stuff. And then I just started adding people and I started connecting with a lot of different people. And I started to grow a little bit of a following. So I decided to do a podcast because I felt like I just enjoyed the process. I enjoyed hearing people's stories. I liked the film business. There was a lot of reasons why I wanted to do it. And just for fun. I didn't have any intention of monetizing or anything like that. So I started something. It went through a couple different variations, but it ultimately became Inside Hollywood with Vinny. And I've interviewed some really, really nice people, people from just the local guys that are filmmakers and actors up to Antonio Sabato Jr. and Joe Cortese. And actually, I was one of the last people to interview Michael Madsen, which was really...
Really?
Yeah, it was really terrific.
Oh, I loved him. He was a good actor. He was great. I liked him in Kill Bill.
He was just a nice guy, and we talked a lot off camera. And he, very humble guy. I mean, he went through a lot of different things that I don't think the public really knows about. So he really had a hard life. Tremendous actor. He told me he started out in a gas station in Hollywood, and one thing led to another, and then he became a star. But really, really great guy. Sad that he's gone, but I had the honor of interviewing him, so that was pretty interesting. In fact, I was really trying to concoct a story for him, a screenplay, because he was always telling me how I'm tired of playing heavies, or I'm always tired of being a bad guy. So
yeah.
he was, he's like, write something for me. It's like a comedy. I want to show a different side of me. But unfortunately, it never happened. So
yeah, he's been gone a little while, right?
Yeah, I think it's about a year and a half. I would say.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I liked his work. He was a great actor. Who's your favorite actor?
Oh wow, I don't know. I mean, that's a tough call. I mean, there's just like what's my favorite cheesesteak? Because I know you're gonna ask that at some point. There's too many to say, but no, different styles. I mean, I always did like Brando. Some people love him or don't like him, but I really liked Brando's style, the way he kind of really engaged with just trying to search for the character, not so much what's on the written page.
Yeah.
So I liked his style. I mean, I think that most great actors really are the ones that draw from their own personal experiences and that have gone through a lot, like Madsen. And so when you've gone through a lot of things in life, a lot of experiences, I think that creates the best actor.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, you could really see it come through on the screen when they take it. Do you like to act too? You do act, right, as well?
So I play around with that. By no means do I want to disrespect the craft by saying I'm an actor, because actors truly are. I give them a lot of credit. They're underappreciated, overworked. So I have a tremendous amount of respect for actors. I like to write. That's my first. I would say my first passion is I like to write, and I also I like to produce, and then to a lesser degree direct and act.
And you wrote a movie.
I did. So my first movie is called Washington Avenue, which was just something that I just wanted to get out. It was something that was cathartic for me. I did it in my neighborhood. I grew up in 9th Street, the Italian Market area in South Philly. My parents are from Calabria. They came over in '66. So, I was born and raised in that area. So, it opens up with a shot at the parish where I got baptized, in a neighborhood, the Italian Market. But it's a great little story. It's a drama. And it won, so far has won 9 first place awards in different film festivals from like LA, New York, Italy, Greece. It's pretty cool. So I'm very amazed, honored, and I appreciate.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's the cast and crew who I owe it to because they did a lot of great things, and I like the story. We have a mob comedy coming out called the Pasta and Cheech Crew, based on some silly little gags that we started out doing online, and it turned into, I wrote the screenplay for that, and that turned into a short movie. And then I'm also working on a TV series pilot or streaming series, we haven't decided yet, with Joe Cortese, who I mentioned earlier. Mm-hmm. We're partners on that, and that's going to be a crime drama. I can't give too much away, but I think it'll be a very good story.
That's amazing. How do you have to? How do you have? Does this all you do all day is write? I mean, do you have a?
No, I wish it was.
Do you have a real job during the day? I'm not saying that's not a real job to write. I shouldn't say that because that's creative. But do you? What's your? Because I know, I mean, unless you are doing big budget movies, that these other movies don't pay a lot. So. No,
I still have the regular 9 to 5, and I'm in law enforcement. I'm not a cop, but I do something a little bit different. I got to keep it quiet, though. All right, all right, Jam, no rat over here. All right, I'm not snitching. I can't tell you. But no, of course, family, 3 kids, so I got a lot on my plate. But I still somehow find time to do the podcast and and write. And I think a lot of people, you have to kind of. You got to keep working. You got to keep manage your life, and then hopefully, something creative might pop.
I mean, I started now and later on in my life that I was always interested in production and films, and if I didn't go to medical school, I probably would have went to film school. But the thing is when you're younger and your parents are Italian and they want you to you got to go to college. You got to be doctor. You got to be this. You got to do something different. My father never wanted us to have to work with his hands the way he did. So he always wanted us to make sure that we were all in college and we all graduated and were professionals. So, but if I could have changed it, I would have went to film school. That's what I would have liked to do. So I have that passion and I like to and acting too, which is now it's like my second, I go call it now my second life career. So hopefully when I get out of my business, which I love, I can't say I know, and I don't want to say I'm very lucky, I have a very successful business, and I have time, I can really focus on that too. So I share your your passion for that. So
I think it goes back to generational things too, because I was the same way. My parents, get a good, city job, good, and that is perfectly fine. That's a good thing. But then you start to realize as you get older, the 9 to 5 kind of grind is going to keep you sort of like on a hamster wheel. You're only going to get by, and you might enjoy a weekend or two and a small vacation, but you're never really going to get off that hamster wheel of just continuously working and never really getting ahead, or you have to really do something outside of the box, especially now. Things are way different as
Oh,
now, as you know, it's not like years ago. Before, you pay off your mortgage, you're good. You can live comfortably. Now you can't. Like everybody's working, and nobody could stay home.
Nobody can stay home now.
And everybody's trying to figure out what they should I have a kid? Not. It's really a horrible thing, and things are getting more expensive, tremendously more. I mean, way more expensive than they've ever been. So. But there's also that passion that you don't want to give up, because there's always something inside of you that wants to come out. Whether it's whether it's doing a podcast, whether it's doing a movie, whether it's being an actress, and you have to. You can't let that just kind of simmer inside of you. You have to do something.
You have to have an outlet. I think anybody who's autistic has to have some kind of outlet to let it out, because otherwise you feel stifled and you feel. I mean, I know me. I feel like very stifled if I don't let my creativity out or my what I'm feeling out. Like it's either writing something, doing my podcast. I'm also writing something too at this point. But it's hard when you are working and running a business to be able to do that. And it's like you want to sit back and have that time so you can think on a different level, and where you're not just grinding. But unfortunately, I'm sure Philadelphia is the same way. When you live in New York City or a big city, like everything is so fast and everybody's working and people work so many hours in a day. Like, when do you have time to sit down and really create and think about it? So I'm sure you go through that too, that you have to get that time to put aside to do that.
Absolutely. And Philly is a lot like New York in the sense of, like, I would say the communities, the way people are tightly knit, like our community, the way we were raised, are, I'm sure, very similar. It's not as fast paced. Definitely not. Man, there's a lot of action, especially in the city here. But it's maybe like like Brooklyn or something. It's a little bit more kind of laid back. But Philly's a great town. I like it because like everybody really is. There's that communal sense. Everybody does stick up for each other and tries to protect each other in a community, especially Italian American community. Like there is a good sense of belonging and sentiment. And I love New York. I come up here every chance I get. I'm always up here. You know, I'll go to Santa Rosalia. I'll go to all the different feasts and pig out and have a good time and go to 18th Ave and go to Villa Bate.
I was in the cannoli king contest last year. Were you there?
I was at I was there 2 years ago at the cannoli eating contest. It was I think the first time they had it. And like a dummy, I didn't realize I didn't have to finish the whole thing because there was other guys next to me just spitting it out, and I'm over here eating the whole thing, and I lost. But that's okay. No hard feelings,
I was like
guys.
this. I was just taking bites, and it was so funny because I brought Catherine Narducci with me, and she's like, Jen, don't you dare shovel that in your face like that. I'm like, you think I'm shoveling these cannolis in my face like this? And these girls, and I'm just biting it, trying to be cute, taking pictures. And the girls next to me, the cream is coming out of their nose, soaked with water. I'm like, if I watch these girls, I'm going to puke. I'm just going to puke on them, just watching what they're doing. So I was not winning. I didn't care about winning. I just went up there just to support Villa Bate. That was it. Who has the best cannolis, guys, by the way, Villa Bate. We shout out to you guys, 18th Avenue, Brooklyn.
That's always a fun time, though. I love Brooklyn. And I come up here. I come up to Little Italy, wherever
and you're gonna come to San Gennaro this year?
Absolutely,
okay.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to be a big part of San Gennaro this year, which Good. So the guys that are in charge of the feast and work with the church are in charge. They started their podcast on my podcast, and now they're doing the feast of San Gennaro, Talking San Gennaro, it's called. So nice. I'm happy. So now I'm going to be a big part of the feast this year, which I'm excited about. That and I feel like so many Italian Americans, it's like. I don't know. Maybe it's just it's the generation, but I feel like we got to kind of reel it back in now because I feel like. Do you find this too? Like you feel like a lot of Italian Americans don't stick together, especially the ones on social media.
That's two different stories there because I think you're right. Social media, sports, religion, all these different things. It brings out something weird in people, like their egos and the competitiveness, and people think like especially the movie industry. Especially the movie, because you start to realize, like, they're always rooting you in, like, oh, get ahead. Just don't get ahead of me.
Yeah.
And people don't. There's something weird that goes on in people's egos. Not everybody, of course.
No, not everybody.
But some people, they get a little weird because they look at it as a reflection on what they're not doing.
Yeah.
So Jen's doing great. That means I suck. And then all of a sudden they don't like you because you're doing something that you're trying to get to the next level. Social media is a weird place, but it's a good place because I think there's a lot of opportunity. It's amazing how you could put something together like what we do here. I mean, I do mine all through my phone practically.
Yeah.
So it's never been a better opportunity to really connect with people and grow and put together events and whatever you got to do.
Yeah. I mean, I get all my guests through social media.
Yeah.
If they know me or I know them, like that's how they wind up on my podcast, Or I, me, old-fashioned way, somebody introduces you to somebody, you get them on your podcast. But yeah, I mean, I think social media is a blessing and a curse. That's what I think it is. Like for business, like it's great. Like I'm a person who's been doing it more for my business, and it's important that you have to be out there and relevant, for business purposes. But to me, I don't. It's not my bread and butter, so I don't take it as seriously as everybody else does. And when I see what goes on with some people where it's so, like, dude, it is not that serious. Like, seriously, guys, like, it is not that serious. Like, you need to chill out. Like, it's crazy, And maybe because that's not my bread and butter, like, yeah, can I make a little money? Yes, but not I'm not living off of it is basically what I'm saying. So, but these other ones, people get a little crazy. I mean, I'm not on the end of it, which I'm glad because I guess I'm like more adjacent to them. You know what I mean? So I'm not like a competition with them because I'm not whatever, but I see what goes on and it's like, oh my God, what are these people doing? They're acting crazy.
I seen your real. They're great. I think they're hysterical. You have really awesome real. I love it. And you could tell, like, you're doing it because you're having a good time with it. And some people are, it's difficult. I think people get into, like, social media, maybe even podcast, and they think they're going to make money or whatever. It's really not that easy. I think it's gotten harder. I think over the years, like if I got started 3 years ago, but if I got started maybe 6 years ago, I would have 500,000 followers. Because things have changed now. Everybody's trying to do the same thing. I don't think the algorithm necessarily is the same.
No, it's different. No.
And it's harder. And I think, and I'm probably going to offend some of the listeners here, but I think a lot of these people are buying their followers or have bought them, and now that they can't do it anymore. And so, I hate to say it, but you start dropping off after a while.
Yes.
And then people get tired of you after a while. It's a shame to say
There's
it.
always somebody new that's coming up. There's always going to be another you coming up that does it bigger and better. And that's just the way it is. That's just the law of the land. That's the circle of life. Right? It's all like in Pride. It's like the Lion King. It's the circle of life. It's going to happen. You're not going to always be the the flavor of the month all the time. At some point, somebody else is going to come up, somebody younger, somebody different. And then, just going to have to, realize that that's going to happen. And with social media, people are very catty, and they're very fickle. That, they'll like somebody one day and then the next day like, no, I like this one now. And then forget about the other person. And that happens every day. So,
I guess it depends on what you're after too. So if you're after, like, if you want to do something, you want to be like somewhat of a celebrity, or if you want to do something and maybe you're trying to promote your business, it all depends on what you're after. But I think you have to be careful, because after a while, if you don't do something with it, if you're trying to, if you're just having fun, then have fun. If you're trying to do something with it, you have to be on your toes, because people's opinions and their flavors change very rapidly, and this like the whole Goomba thing. It's tiring after a while. Nobody wants to see that no more. And I'm not saying I could sit here and recite Italian all day. I could speak fluently dialect, but people have to get tired of that stuff after a while.
If I hear another podcast about sauce and gravy, I want to shoot myself in the head. Like, guys, can you pick another topic?
No, it's gravy. Let it
No, it's sauce. Oh my God, we're gonna start.
I know.
Gravy's
I get you started.
brown.
I know you call it sauce. I'm torturing you.
But you're right. I think that it's been done to death now. And it's like maybe it's on its death rattle at this point.
It is.
Where people got to now we got to figure something else out.
Now you have to actually be creative.
Exactly. Now you really have to create something.
Now you got to use your head and,
right.
And figure something out. And, but it's a lot of fun too, because you get to meet a lot of people, right? I met you, and we get to, it makes the world a closer place.
And, I think that the social media, especially the Italian, genre of us, we all know each other. Everybody knows one another. Even if they don't know you directly, they know you through somebody else, and they know of you. If it, like I never met you until today, but we knew each other just by following each other.
Back.
But we also know a lot of the same people. Right. So even though we didn't meet, it's like I feel like I met you because we know the same people. Right. So, and I think that's just true in the Italian community anyway. I think that we always wind up staying so close knit to each other. But oh my God. They're so competitive. Jesus Christ.
Or jealous.
Yes, jealous.
Let's not use that word, but no, but it's good though in a way, I think, because it is preserving the Italian, not just Italian, any culture. I mean, yes, we're talking about Italian because we're Italian, but especially I see it in our community because we are like a lot of these Italian American organizations. You see them starting to really. They're starting to come back, right? Yep. I grew up.
Italian American Civil Rights League. Everybody join. It's a great committee. It's a great committee.
It's a great organization. Yeah, and. So that's good. So you start to see those things starting to flourish again, and people, they miss the good old days and, the way neighborhoods were. Because it was, in South Philly was a lot like how Brooklyn was, or any of these other neighborhoods where it was all Italians. Everybody looked out their window, screamed for the kids at 5 o'clock. It was all the same stuff. We all grew up the same way. And as you get older, the younger generations kind of realize there was something very special that they missed, so they kind of want to know what that's about.
They want to tap back into that.
Yeah.
It's true, but that's nice that I like that part. I like about it. That's what I do like about it. But it does keep you. I think it does keep you connected. Again, I think social media is a blessing and a curse. It just depends on how you use it. Let's put it that way, right? It's a cautionary tale, right?
It could be nice, or it could be like, did you see what Jennifer put out the other day?
Can you believe this fucking bitch put this shit out there?
What's she wearing?
What? She's copying my video. No, dude, really? I'm copying you?
Did that really happen to you?
No, I had a fight with somebody on TikTok because they said I was complaining that I had it harder because I was a Generation Xer. They went at me, and the best was. They attacked the way I look. Like why do you have to go down that low? Like, what's the point of you have to attack my looks or my age or whatever it is? Like, yeah, like then I had to get nasty and be like, I called them the sister ugly or whatever it was, but it was funny. But you don't want to get that way with people, but it's like, why do you have to get that? If you don't like what I'm saying, all you have to do is delete me or block me. Why do you have to come at me? Like, I'm not going to spend my day, like, if I don't like what somebody says, you know what I do? I flip it. I don't watch it. I turn the channel. I don't have to sit there. If I got aggravated over everything I saw on social media, I'd probably be in a freaking lunatic asylum if I got that invested over what people said on social media. But yeah, you've never had that happen to you on social media where people attack you for something?
Just, I usually turn into a joke a couple times here, nothing serious. I usually just kind of stay neutral because I don't engage with a lot of stupid nonsense that's like controversial. I don't talk politics. I don't get to like. The most controversial thing might be sauce and gravy. That's the most controversial.
But that is controversial. Controversial.
That's serious stuff. I get
That's serious stuff, then. That's very serious. Well, you know what is in me? Because I'm in the beauty business, so it's a very screwed up business. I mean, I have women who come in, young girls who come in, and they really have these body dysmorphic issues. They'll come in and they'll show me, I want to look like her, and they'll show me this picture of this. I'm like, that's a filter. You're not. She doesn't look like her. This person doesn't look like this. This is a filter. And I think that business also creates a lot of, self-doubt and it's negative. It's a lot. It's negative a lot. And it really sucks. And I was talking about it with my other guest, Nicole, that women really suck. They don't stick together and they go at each other, and it's so awful. It really is. And it's like the first thing that people will say is they'll say something about what you look like or how old you are. Of course that's something that's going to hurt a woman's feelings because, we all want to look good and we all want to be young and feel young or whatever. But it's like, it's awful how people go at people like that. It's like terrible. Like, if you don't like what I'm doing, I'm not telling you to do Botox. If you don't want to do it, don't fucking do it. Or unfollow me. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not telling you, forcing you to do something, but it's just how vicious how people can get on social media. It's crazy.
They cut deep too, because those are things that cut deep. And for me, I've gotten to the point in my life where I realized there really isn't such thing as unity. It really is not. You can forget it. Women sticking together, guys sticking together, that stuff, white, black, it doesn't exist. People are individualistic, and you have to, as soon as you get to realize that people really are not, it's a generality, but people are selfish. People are looking for their self-preservation. They're looking to succeed. They're looking, the whole thing, the whole mentality behind, like I gave up on that mentality, like, because there's always, people will back you to a degree. They're not going to go over a cliff with you.
No.
So, and it kind of like...
They're not Thelma Louising it with you.
No, it's a figment in your imagination, this unity thing. But you got your family, you have you, and if you have anybody else in addition to that, you're very lucky.
Yeah, that's very true. And you have 3 children?
Yeah.
So do I have 3 kids. Boys, girls?
2 girls and a boy. So the 2 girls are the oldest, and I try to keep, same, so I sort of like telling them to stick together. Be kind. You try to raise them with the
values.
Mentality of being good to people. Don't make fun of anyone. Don't even joke around, like, because that leads to, like, And thank God they're very sensible and very sensitive to other people. And then, like, we all do, as long as we all do our job, hopefully next generation they grow with a little bit more. Like we were just talking about being kind to each other, not being so abrasive, and attacking people and hurting people's feelings.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's who does it hurt? I mean, are you getting anything out of hurting somebody? Like, it's just...
Makes you ugly. Makes you ugly. You know what I mean?
And you have to kind of look at those people. I mean, I used to get so upset. Like, when I got a bad Yelp review on something for my business, I would take that to such heart. And now then I look at these people and I'm like, and then you look at what they write on other... And then there's no good reviews for anybody. I'm like, then this person is just miserable and they just want to mess with people's lives and livelihoods, and you have to kind of feel sorry for them. So now if I look at that person making that review, I don't believe what they say because obviously they don't like anything. So now I can't get upset anymore when I get that. If somebody's just miserable, nothing I was going to do was going to make them happy that day. Nothing I could have done. I could have gave them the world. I could have made them look, they were 95 and I made them look 25 and they still weren't going to be happy because I didn't make them look 24, so it doesn't matter. So I used used to get very upset about that, but now I'm just like, you know what? I got to feel bad for that person because they obviously need to say this more than I need me to get upset about it, you know? I don't know.
They're either under or overly medicated. We don't know. It's one or the other.
There's a lot of mental health issues these days.
Everybody's crazy.
They are batshit
The people
crazy.
watching right now, you're crazy too.
Batshit crazy. Batshit crazy. We just know how to hide it better, I think.
Yeah. Exactly. You don't talk about it.
We're not allowed to talk about it. Except when with us, but you know what it is? I think we're the most well-adjusted people, Italians, because we talk and scream all the time. It's like my friend's daughter comes up from Pennsylvania, and they're from the South, originally from Georgia, but they live in Pennsylvania, and we're all around my kitchen, and it's my girls and everybody talking, and we're all talking loud, with our hands, and she turns around to her mother, she goes, "Mom, why are they all yelling at each other?" And I just found it so funny. I'm like, no, honey, that's just the way we talk. I said, we just talk very loud about. So I feel like because we're so boisterous that like I let my feelings out. So I'm a well-adjusted person because I get my feelings out all the time.
Yeah, like when we have people over like that aren't used to us. All right, let's behave. We have normal people coming.
But let's be honest, we can't behave anyway.
It comes out. Really
right? It might behave for like 10 minutes, and then it's also out the window after that, right?
But, getting back to, those experiences growing up, I think that's also another, like, benefit, going back to, like, the screenwriting. And, like, I draw a lot of stuff from that, from the way we grew up and different scenarios. Like, in other words, and actually I had, I guess, George Gallo, a guy who wrote, if you don't know who George Gallo is, he's the one who wrote Midnight Run,
yes,
Wise Guys, Bad Boys, Comeback Trail with De Niro and Morgan Freeman. And he's from New York. I think he's Westchester. I'm not sure exactly where, but he's a New Yorker. And I had him on, and we became friends. And he was always like my idol, my screenwriting idol, because I fell in love with Wise Guys when I was little, and I never got over that movie. And I met Piscopo, by the way.
Joe Piscopo works here too.
I got his cell phone. I texted him I was going to be here, but I don't know. He's a busy guy. But anyway, so I got to meet him, and he also, like, that was a big influence on a lot of my screenwriting. And you start to realize a lot of these people are just like us that grow up in these neighborhoods, grow up the same way we did, and they're able to really do a good job of working hard and then pursuing their craft, whether it's screenwriting, producing, whatever it is, acting. And some of them do get somewhere based on the fact that they just don't give up and they work really hard. And, yeah, sometimes you need a little luck, too.
What do you think it is? What do you think the recipe is? I
think that you have to be a worker. You can't be lazy. You have to bring. That's another thing that I want to stress too is that when I meet people that are really like, wow, these people are very successful, whatever, producers, whatever. I'm not going to sit there and say, hey, can you like look at this thing I wrote or do this or do that? It's more like how do I make this a win-win? So this way, I got something for this person that they're going to like, that they could do something with, and then it benefits me too. Because people are always looking for something, and these people don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear like, oh, I got this great script you got to really have something serious that something to offer, work hard. But yeah, you do need a little luck. You have to have a little bit of luck. Luck, I'm telling you, it's a weird thing. I don't know how much I try not to admit it to myself, but luck does go a long way,
Yeah.
But you have to be able to like identify situations. Like if you see an opportunity, you have to go for it. You can't just wait for something else to happen or just like, I'm not ready. You have to be able to identify an opportunity when it shows up and run with it. And I interviewed another guy, Larry Namer, who's the guy who started E! Entertainment Network. And he's the one who launched the Kardashians and launched Howard Stern's career and everything like that. And a very humble guy, very laid back guy, and very kind. But again, these are people that, what did they do? He was one of the first people that didn't even have enough money to start a network. Somehow he started a network, with $2 million. It was crazy how he started that network, him and his partner. And it's all the same. Whenever I talk to these people, I'm sure the same thing with you. They have this confidence about them. They will not give up. They'll work hard, and they take advantage of opportunities when they show up.
I mean, that's the only way that it's going to happen. You have and belief in yourself too. You got to see yourself, it happening for yourself. You know, I mean, with me, I feel like if I project something, if I want something, then I usually can manifest it. Manifesting is a big thing too. You have to say to yourself, not that I'm gonna do it, that it's already happened. That's the way I always project things for myself. To if I want something, and I've always worked hard, and I'm sure you've always worked hard your whole life, no matter what you did, and I'm sure you've even your 9-to-5 job you do with, you're not doing it just, mediocrely. You're doing it with your full self, and you're not just, skirting along. So I think you're the type of person, I know I'm that type of person that would, if when I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it, or 100%. And I think that's a big deal too, right? I mean, every day. It's diligence every day.
Like my dad used to say, either do it right or don't do it at all.
Yeah.
I started out 10 years old selling pretzels in the Italian market and whatever. I just kept working from then. So I've been working, over 35 years now. And, it's a good thing. Then, and you have to have that work ethic. I can never understand people that just want to stay home, not want to do anything, have people do stuff for it. I mean, that's not a life. That is a horrible existence. If you don't realize that you have to get up and do something, like you have a purpose, you have to be productive. You can't just wait for
yourself, for your soul. You need that.
Yeah, like you're. This is not why you're here. You gotta do something, even if you're just growing a garden outside. Even if you're just you're doing. You have to do something for society at large, for your family, for yourself. So, but it's unfortunate. But a lot of people give up too. People just it's hard. The strong survive. That's a really true thing. The only true survive, because if you're not strong, you're not strong-willed. You'll never make it, because it's rough out there. I have to tell you, it's a rough world.
Dog world. Oh, it is. And people claw themselves to the top, and they'll run you over. Even the people that you think wouldn't, they'll run you right over to get there before you. My
one friend told me, but it's just good. It kind of made me feel better. He's like, BS will get you to the top, but it won't keep you there.
Well, my grandma, she didn't say it this way, but I'll interpret it the way she says. You can only fuck your way to the middle. You can't fuck your way to the top. She didn't say it. She said it more eloquently than I did. That's my interpretation of what she said.
Right.
But it's true. So it's you gotta make your bones. You gotta go through the process. It's not easy. It's not. And all these people that are successful, they went through a lot of shit to get there. I was watching this whole thing about how the Jerry Springer show, what these people did on that show, the craziness and how they got there. And you know what? It's true. Like if you're involved in it, like you're gonna try to do anything to be the producers and it was crazy. I'm like, and you know what? How far will you go to make it to the top? Yep. That's the other thing too. When does your, do you say, yeah, I'm not stepping over that line. That's not the line I'm going to go over. And some people have to go over that line to get there. So how far would you go?
Me personally, I don't think I would go too far over the line, because a lot of those people, and I know a decent amount of people that kind of just burnt out from Hollywood, that got used and abused. It's an ugly life. I think you can make it. Like George Gallo's a perfect example. I mean, he never hung out at those parties, did this or that. He was always a family guy, did what he had to do, and he did very well. And he's one of many. There's also a segment of the creative population that doesn't engage with that nonsense, and they are successful. Gene Hackman was one of those guys. Yep. Robert Duvall, a lot of those guys, they didn't associate with all that crap.
Yeah, Mel Gibson neither.
Yeah, right. Mel Gibson, perfect example.
Yeah, it's true.
You could do it. Listen, at the end of the day, you take a shot.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited for your release of your movie. When is it? And when is the release going to be? So
the premiere in Philly is going to be next week, May 8th. But it'll be, it should be streaming. We're getting it, through the QC, the quality control. So it should be streamed. It's called Washington Avenue. That'll be released hopefully in the next few months once it's.
And where will it be streaming on?
So right now we got through Film Hub, so probably Amazon and all the normal places, Prime, and so it'll be streaming out there. We'll make sure we put we'll tag you when it's officially out.
Please, you need to tag me. Are you going to have an official premiere?
Well, the Philly thing, we're going to put something together for probably in South Philly. We have a couple venues we're going to do, and we're going to couple it with two short films this way. It's a nice kind of experience.
Well, I better be invited. I want to come.
Absolutely. You'll be the first one.
I want to come and hang out in South Philly with you.
You'll have a good time. You'll like it.
I have a lot of friends that are from South Philly, but I've never been there. Isn't that funny?
A lot of people are moving over here now. A friend of mine is in the course of moving over to Bensonhurst. So a lot of people are going from South Philly over
That's
there.
so funny.
Yeah.
Well, good. At least we're getting some migration from Italian somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. You'd be surprised.
Well, Vinny, I'm so glad you came on the show, and let everybody know where they can find you.
Well, I'm on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook and TikTok under Vinny from South Philly, and then also on YouTube under Inside Hollywood with Vinny, and you'll see all the different podcasts that I have there.
Excellent. Well, thank you for being on my show today. It was a great talk. I hope you come back on again. I hope you come up and visit us again. It would be nice to have you. And everybody, please hit that subscribe button for Apple, YouTube, and Spotify. And if you don't, I'm going to come get you, and I'm going to send Vinny from South Philly after you. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.
That was good.
That was good.